Colossal weapons. They're not just for newbies anymore. Colossal weapons are more of a collection of random bonks than a category. Fat rollers! Bye-bye. An oversized bucket of any slab of steel, wood, stone, or bone that covers your screen and forces you to level strength. You have your hammers, your axes, your staffs, your overly engorged finger of submission to an eldritch finger-based overlord, your bonks, and even your pizza cutters. We got a lot of options. But the funkiest of them all remains the mandible of a gigantic cosmic rock dog with a beetle's face. When you play Beast Jaw, you don't just romp, clomp, and mudhole stomp, you chomp! They say that if something isn't broken, you shouldn't fix it, and today's heavy rock is a blast from the past that'll knock you on your ass. I'm not talking Rakshasa, BHB, Bone Bull, Schmish script. I'm talking good old-fashioned Strength Int. And when I say strong, I don't just mean strong, I mean tanky as hell, and able to wield 2 Beast Jaws and medium roll to the beat. I talked about Colossals in my last video. Turns out the Powerstance moveset got buffed too, so while two-handed has the two-handed talisman and the advantage of not having to have 50 endurance, the Powerstance moveset has more range, more damage depending on your setup, and of course access to the all-valuable double colossal jump attack delete button. And Fallingstar Beast Jaws has the unique and powerful property that makes all its attacks deal pierce damage. This means that with a weapon that you'll be trading with anyway, you get juicy, fat counter hits. Add in the spear tally and you have a mega bonk setup that you can really sink your teeth into. The Powerstance Colossal moveset can roll catch out of wave dash, reaction roll catch, and vortex from a hyper armor trade. Add in complementary crouch attack talisman and spear talismans and you have a high damage setup that can 3-shot almost anyone. And Fallingstar Beast Jaws isn't just an amazing crouch smashing phantom deleting machine, it has the benefit of having one of the most useful heal punishing and long range ashes of war in the game. Gravity Bolt has massive range, massive damage, tier 3 stun, and because we main the Beast Jaws on the build, we can go for our heal punishes without having to hard swap. I didn't choose the gravity build chose me. The most important hard swap of the build is, of course, Cold Waves of Darkness on Gugs. It's optimal on the build. Long have we cried our bitter tears over the loss of our beloved Stormhawk axe swap. The king is dead, long live the king. But when one Get Off Me tool for invaders falls to a nerf, another rises to take its place, and Waves of Darkness is still everything it's cracked up to be. Cold Wave synergizes very well on the build, dealing huge damage and cold procking the hardiest of over levels if they're caught in the waves. If you don't instantly kill the host, the entire rest of the build is made up of excellent chase down and range finishing swaps, and you can roll catch with your jaws or gravity bolt the low health ganker as they pathetically panic roll away. Waves of Darkness is good in so many different situations: corner trapping, ambushing, as a turn and burn, as an area denial tool to get off a heal, or simply as a double or triple killing machine that can end a gank as fast as they say, "We're thirsty." I've gotten away from the habit of spamming it 5 times in every invasion, but maybe I should. This is still one of the most effective AoEs in the game, and it's still one of the best ways to spank a gank. You know we had to have that rune swap on the build. Many of my Strength Int builds in the past have had less than 50 strength, but at 139, we've got more than enough points to go around. And while we forgo the Moonveil swap for a bit more strength, the Rune's Greatsword is a time-honored swap that can still vigor check the puny hosts of the world. Rune's Greatsword Fallingstar Beast Jaws build is one of the oldest, most tried and true swap combinations in Elden Ring PvP. Burger flip into gravity bolt wake up never gets old, and while we've always had a good thing going with Str Int, the patch 1.14 era of overtuned colossals brings this build back from the dustbin and puts a shine on it that hasn't been there since Phalanx Powerstance Cold Lances, or maybe even since Stielovski first donned a Lionel's helm way back in the dark days of Elden Ring PvP. I've been invading a lot in the past few months and using a different build almost every time I invade. Along with all those experimental fails, and getting gank like a fresh Vare's quest user hitting the bloody finger in Liurnia at level 60, I've learned a lot about the kinds of builds that are most successful in invasions. I do subscribe to the G9 philosophy of max damage in invasions to burn people down, but it's also always important to consider ways to finish those players that you can't quite delete with your high damage setups. That's why every good invasion build has things like Fallingstar Beast Jaws, Ruin's Greatsword, or even something so sweet and simple as a NIGHTRIDER glaive with sword dance. Cold NIGHTRIDER glaive gets crazy AR on the build and has hyper armor and a ton of range. This extra lengthy range makes it a great sword dance swap, and it's still an impressive weapon in invasions on its own. Extend your range with a halberd swap. It's one of the best weapons for tunneling, and the fast hyper armor startup on sword dance means that you can tank through people who are trying to live the story of gankers while you finish off a phantom. I couldn't even think of a better force swap around my main hand Beast Jaws than Radahn's swords. Call me Kevin, call me Timmy, but what's the point in having a gravity build without the, gravity? And we use these suckers. We use them a lot. This is another important thing that I have learned more and more as I have invaded hundreds and hundreds of times since the DLC came out. Fighting with your head and not with your heart. There's no better way to end an invasion quickly than a gravity kill, and there are a few gravity killers in the game like Starcaller Cry. Not only do you get insane hyper armor when you're in the ash, but you can pull or push with it depending on if you're facing towards or away from your opponent, and it throws them a long way compared to many similar gravity killers in the game. It is backstabbable, but if you choose the right moments to use this, you can either end the invasion on the spot or get out of jail free by forcing your sweet gankers to roll around. The follow-up is just icing on the cake, and you've seen what kind of damage you can do from the triple kill clip early in this video. I never go for this unless people are outright trying to mash me out of the ash, and if they do, it's lights out, and not for a short nap. Thanks so much for stopping by. This is one of the most fun builds in the game, and the new patch only made it heavier, rockier, more gravity-ier. I've got more cooks going than a Walter White worshipping desert cult, so if you enjoyed this build, like and subscribe to see more. I also stream on Twitch a few times a week at twitch.tv/bellmonk_, and I host fight clubs and other cool events on my stream to get my community involved. Enjoy the new patch, everyone. Oh! And happy chomping. Yes, these are so fucking good! Yeah! Oh, host. You wouldn't want a piece, would you? Just a little piece. Here, watch this.